1, 2, 3.
Hello everyone, this is Kyle Galaz with Poor2Pro Car Sales Training Podcast. Become a Sales Titan. We are in Season 10. This is Episode 2. This is the Sales Manager Training. I'm very excited about this season because a lot of you listeners out there that have been with me since the beginning of the podcast in November 2020, I've been getting messages that you're moving up at the dealership. So this training is going to not only work for people that are currently sales managers, but also people that are aspiring to be a sales manager, aspiring to be leadership at the dealership. So, knowing as much as you can only will help you. Knowledge will only help you get better in the car business. And the fact that you're listening to these very words tells me that you want to go to the next level and you want to be the best in your store. You want to be the number one sales titan at your store. You want to be the number one sales manager. You just want to be number one. And that is what sales titans think. That's how they act. They want to be the best. So kudos to you for being here. Which leads perfectly into this episode. You have to be the best in the store. Season 10, Episode 2. You have to be the best in the store. Before I get started on this episode, I just want to say thank you to all my listeners, all my supporters, everyone out there that shares the podcast, everyone out there that has purchased the Poor2Pro daily workbook, the Sold as Gold book, the auto sales logbook. That one actually has been selling quite a bit because salespeople don't want to lose out on their sold customers. They realize new customers are getting scarce, but your sold customers are so darn important. So look for the auto sales logbook in the description below. You can click the link and buy it on Amazon. It's only $14.99, super inexpensive. It holds 200 of your customers in it because if your dealership changes CRM systems or you switch dealerships, you don't want to lose your sold customers, and you can put detailed information on each customer profile page and keep that book with you as you follow your career. As you go along in your career, you could have so many customers that you can call upon when you are having a tough month. So appreciate everyone sharing the podcast, booking one-on-ones, and getting those books. So all my links are down below. So let's get into this episode for sales managers. The reason why a sales manager is successful, good ones, is because they have more selling skills than their salespeople. They're great at leadership. They're great at closing deals. They're great at setting up deals. They're great at appraisals. They're great at closing customers on lower values for the trade. They're great at under allowing. They're great at explaining higher interest rates and higher payments. They're great at doing a little bit of everything. But if you want to be the best sales manager, the most valuable sales manager at your store, you have to be the best in the store. You have to be the best in the store. And if you're not the best, then good for you for listening to this episode to become the best. Because the best sales managers, the ones that are truly the best, are irreplaceable. They have the highest job security I've ever seen because the dealership cannot afford to lose you. Your sales team cannot afford to lose you. Your sales team will literally follow you anywhere you go because they don't want to lose the best sales manager they've ever had. You're a mentor. You're a leader. You're their closer. You're their support. You're their mental rock. You're their stability. You're literally everything to them. And when they go into a dealership, when your sales team has a manager like that, they know that, hey, as long as I can get a customer in these doors and at this desk, I'm going to sell a car. There is nothing better as a salesperson to have a sales manager that is at that level to where they know if I can just get my customers to the desk, I'm going to sell a car. And this is why us as sales managers have to be the best in the store. We can't be the second best sales manager. We can't be the third best sales manager. A lot of dealerships have multiple sales teams, multiple sales managers, multiple finance managers. And if you're third or fourth on the totem pole, you're doing yourself a disservice and your team a disservice. You want to be the best. You want to be that sales manager that everyone's waiting in line for to work their deal. The dealership I kind of cut my teeth in, right? Cut my gums in, was a Ford store, and they had two sales managers. Well, one sales manager seemed to always have deals working, and I didn't understand why. Why is this sales manager always so darn busy? As I got a little bit older in the car business, and I realized, oh shoot, I'm learning more. I understand now why that sales manager has a line of salespeople working deals, and the other sales manager is twiddling his thumbs, trying to, hey, do you want to work a deal? No, I kind of started this with this sales manager. It's because that sales manager is the best in the store. So take a look at yourself. Do a self-reflecting as a sales manager. How many deals are you working versus your other sales managers? Are you the go-to guy? Because if you're not, then you're definitely not the best in the store, and you're not the go-to guy. And we have to turn that around, because you don't want to be replaceable. You want to be irreplaceable. You want to be the rock of the dealership. You want to be the go-to guy. But how do we do that? First is training. Are you actually training after hours? Are you listening to the podcast? Are you doing mock closes, practice closes with someone at the house? You might have to get your wife involved or a roommate involved, or whatever your living situation is. And it might sound goofy, but if you're not using your mouth and your muscle memory outside of the customer's experience, then when you finally get that customer, you're going to be rusty and crusty. You're going to go into the close, trying to close a deal for your sales guy, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I haven't practiced this verbiage in like 2 weeks since I had another customer that I was helping close. So we have to train every day. So training comes in a few different versions. First, we have to use muscle memory. Are you saying closes, whether you have a person in front of you or not? Like right now, I'm talking to a microphone, but the key here is that my mouth is moving. I'm getting my own practice in by talking about the car business. Repetition is key here. So are you going home and still training? So training comes with repetition, practicing, things like that. Another version of training is, are you listening to other people close deals? Are you listening to podcasts? Are you listening to or watching videos on how to close? Are you inventing your own closes? Are you creative enough to start inventing your own closes? And when you start practicing and start doing repetition, you start learning from other people, then you can have more tools in your tool belt. If you're a mechanic and all you have is a flathead screwdriver, how many things can you fix? You can fix things with the flathead screw, right? If you're a sales manager and all you know how to do is close one type of customer, one type of close, how many customers are you going to be able to close? You're only going to be able to close that one type of customer. So as sales managers, we need to have 10 to 15 different closes in our toolbox that we can pull out at any given moment for that type of customer and be able to close that deal. What happens here? First, you get better at closing yourself, and you start building a confidence with your sales team that is second to none. Your salesmen will start, and saleswomen will start realizing, if I can just get a customer to the desk, my sales manager will close them. I have a sales manager that knows how to close deals, and you can become that superstar. But you have to train. You have to listen to podcasts. You have to watch videos, and you have to practice with your actual mouth. You have to have muscle memory. You have to go home and train. And do you even know closes? Are you even fluent with one or two closes, or do you just have your kind of go-to? Let's see what finance can put together for payments, the normal stuff. Or are you going out there with, the no trick close, the greatest close on earth, the 3M close, right? The payment close, the credit rebuild close. Do you have all these sitting in your toolbox so you can boom, bust it out as needed and close that customer? So make sure as a sales manager, you're training, you're learning, you're training, you're repetition, you're practicing. Another thing too is, are you training your sales team? If you want to be the best sales manager at your dealership, you better have the training skills it takes to be able to do that. Because guess what? When I started the podcast and I started training other salespeople, I got better. I actually got better by training other people. So if you can start training your salespeople, especially the new ones that need help, they need guidance. you start actually getting better yourself. So not only do you need to train yourself, but you need to train your sales staff. And by training your sales staff with one-on-ones and working objections and doing these things, you will actually get better yourself, which separates you from the other sales managers, which makes you even more valuable to the dealership. Because guess what? If the dealership says, hey, we have to go down to one sales manager, we're cutting some jobs because things are getting slower. Are they going to cut you? Or are they going to cut someone else? Well, guess what? If you're the best sales manager in the store, you're never getting cut. You will never get cut. Michael Jordan never got cut from the Bulls. Why? Because he was the best. He could close the show. He was the go-to guy. Well, guess what? That also works at dealerships. Okay? So make sure you're training your other guys too, because iron sharpens iron. If you're training them, you're also getting sharpened. It goes two ways. It's a two-way street. Now, as a sales manager, are you involved enough with the process? Now, some dealerships have sales managers that work the deal, they get it approved, and then someone else goes out and closes the deal, right? You also have dealerships that the sales manager doesn't do the appraisal. There's a used car manager that does the appraisal. So if you're at a store where you're a sales manager that doesn't do the appraisals, I challenge you to start doing appraisals with your used car manager and start figuring out the actual trade appraisal numbers and bounce it off the used car manager, because the more information you can have about the trade-in, the better you can close a deal. Because when you go out to a close with a customer and you're not the one who actually did the appraisal, you got the appraisal value from someone else, then you don't have the information to back the appraisal. You're just saying stuff like, yeah, my used car manager appraised it for $15,500, but you don't know why. You're just going out there with a number. So if you want to be the best in the store, you need to know all the facets of the car deal. Do you know the banks? Do you know how to submit a deal? Do you know how the lenders work? Do you know what lenders will do certain vehicles, certain years, certain miles, certain allowances for, back end? Or are you capped? Are you capped at 84 months with this bank and not, extending it if they get warranty and gap? Are you capped at 72 months because it's a 2015 used car? Do you know enough as a sales manager in the finance world to be able to be fluent at the desk? Same with the trade-in appraisals. Do you know that, hey, typically these vehicles are worth this amount. These are typically the problems with this type of trade-in, and this is why your value is where it's at. It's not because my used car manager or I just said, oh, it's worth 15. No, there is a formula of why it's worth 15. First, the market says this is what the trade-in value is, but also we have to replace the tires. We have to do the brakes. There's a squeaky noise coming from, this part of the vehicle. Your blend door on the AC and heater unit is making some ticking sounds. When I crank the AC to number 5 on the fan speed, it doesn't work. When I go to 4, it works. All these little things, when you're the best car sales manager, you know these things, right? What's this ticking noise? Oh, it's got the Hemi tick. Oh, it's got the 5.4 liter Ford. Those are the cam phasers. All these little things start adding up when you become the best of the best as a car sales manager. So when you go out to close a deal and you have a customer in front of you that's saying my trade is too low, but you don't have the ammo to back it up because you're not the best of the best, these are the things you need to learn. So make sure if you're a car sales manager, whether you're new car or used car, there's going to be trade-ins. So make sure you get with your used car appraiser, figure out why, go out there on appraisals, go out there on drives, and get really good at appraisals. Now, if you're already doing that, great. Kudos to you. You have another tool in the toolbox. The key is to learn all facets. Are you good at appraising vehicles? Are you good at used car trading values? Are you good at explaining why the vehicle is where it's at on trade value? Are you good at the bank side, the finance side? Hey, are you good at setting the deal up for money? Let's talk about making money. That's the only reason why your car sales guys are there, is to make money. Are you good at under-allowing on trades? Do you even know what that is? The used car manager, or you appraise the vehicle for $20,000, and we go out there and show a pencil to the customer for $18,000. We just under-allowed $2,000. Now we can have some more front-end gross. In a business right now, in 2026, And probably for the near future, front end grosses are shrinking. Well, how can we help our sales guys not make many after many after many after many and then quit? Many after many after many, oh, I got to hire a new guy. How about we start making them some money with that UA, the under allowance? Let's appraise the vehicle for 20 and go show the customer 18 or 17,000. So we can add 3 pounds to the front end for your sales guy. And if they're getting 25%, that starts adding up fast if you under allow $4,000. And you may think it's impossible to under allow $4,000 because they said somewhere else appraise it for 20. But you don't know until you take that shot. And are you convincing enough to convince the customer to take the 16 or 17,000? My biggest UA as a salesperson for myself that I did myself because my manager didn't know how to do this fluently was $5,000. And at the Ford store that I worked at that allowed me to do 5,000, paid 50% of the under allowance if I held full sticker on the truck I was selling. So I told my sales manager, what's my appraisal? And he said 16,000. I said, okay, perfect. Put 11,000 on the write-up. And he started laughing, thinking I couldn't pull it off. He's like, yeah, right. I'm like, no, I'm serious. You said it's the ACV is 16, right, Mr. Manager? He's like, yeah. I'm like, put 11,000 on the write-up and send me out with full sticker. He's like, okay, because I knew that I would get 50% of the 5,000, so I would get $2,500 plus the front end of the car sale, which was a 3-pounder. I was a big truck, so I got half of the UA plus the front end of the 3-pounder plus whatever they sold in the back at the time. And I came back with a signature, and the sales manager said, no way. I'm like, yeah, way. I'm like, we're ready to go. Let's get this thing checked off. Let's get him into finance so he can sign. But the moral of that story is, holy moly, my manager didn't believe in that pencil. The sales guy did. Me, Kyle, the sales guy believed in that pencil, but my sales manager didn't. He laughed. And I thought, okay. Am I outgrowing my store? Am I outgrowing my sales manager? And that was kind of the first sample of that. Like, wow, my sales manager couldn't even fathom what I just did. And I held the record for the highest UA for the entire store history until they changed the rule and that you can't even UA that high because they felt like it was gouging, which, hey, dude, you set the pay plan up. I do my thing. Right? But they changed the max UA to be like $1,000. That was the max you can do. But I still hold the record in that store. That record still holds because they changed the rule not after that deal. It was about a year later they changed the rule because some salespeople try to do it and they couldn't figure it out, and the customer would end up walking. You still walk a fine line, right? You have to read your customer. You can't let them leave, especially with the UA. But how about we set the deal up with some money for once? How about we set our guys up for success so they don't quit? How about we set them up so they get a big old fat paycheck and you tell them, hey, when you get that paycheck, buy me an energy drink. And he's like, absolutely, Kyle. And now they're buying you energy drinks every day or lunches every day because you are the best in the store. And they want to buy you lunches. They want to get you drinks. They want to bring you presents and all that good stuff because you're making them 100,000 plus a year. They're not making 50 or 60,000 a year, making minis every time because they have a sales manager that is the best in the business. You have to be the best in the store to have the best team to keep quality salespeople. If you're having a problem with turnover, look in the mirror. Your store needs to look in the mirror and say, okay, why are we having a problem with turnover? Is it because I'm paying my sales guys too much, or are they not making enough? And if they're not making enough, it's either we're allowing them to dictate their own vouchers by telling them how much gross is in the deal or showing them the screen, and now they're just making minis and not setting them up with these UAs or back end. And you have a talented sales guy that's looking for a job because he wants to make $100K a year. We need to retain our salespeople that we have that we're training. And when you have salespeople that are really good at what they do, and are creative enough to understand the UA, then you can send them out with the UA. If they're not creative enough or they don't have the cojones, they don't have the balls to do it, then you need to go out there and close that UA for them because guess what? That translates to you in a bigger check also. I'm very passionate about the money part. You notice when I switched to the money part, how passionate I got? It's because money is the reason why I got in the car business. I wanted to have fun, sell cars, make money, and make babies. Okay? Text me that or message me that. Message me that right now on your Instagram. Pull up your Instagram or Facebook, find Kyle Galaz or Poor2Pro Car Sales Training Podcast. Go to Instagram and type in have fun, sell cars, make money, make babies. I want to see it from you. I want to hear from my fellow sales titans and my fellow sales manager titans. Let's go, man. Get hyped up. The reason why I'm so passionate about the money part is because I aspire to be the best in every store I've worked at. And this is why I've never been fired. This is why I have a long career, and this is why you will have a long career as a sales manager. And if you're a salesman looking to become a sales manager, think about what I'm saying. We have to get creative, and we have to be the best in the store. The number one guy at the store, do you notice if he can leave early sometimes, he can come in a little bit late. He seems to get a little more attaboys. The number one guy, the managers are laughing with them. Oh, he gets to go to the company, whatever, with the bank, because they don't want to lose that number one guy. Well, that can be you. Whether you're the sales manager, finance manager, the GM, whoever you are, the salesman, be the best in your store and aspire to be the best in the store, and you will always have job security and you'll always make a tremendous amount of money. So let's talk a little bit more about being the best in the store. What does that look like to you? I hope you message me. Have fun, sell cars, make money, make babies. What does that look like to you to be the best in the store? Really think about it. Take a moment and think, okay, how do I become the best in the store? Do I need to focus more on getting deals approved, understanding the banks, work on knowing trade-ins? Do I need to work on closes? Maybe get a notepad out. And this is not a bash session of I need to figure out what's wrong. Kyle wants to know what's wrong with me. No, this is how do I get to the next level as a sales manager? How do I become the leader that my guys want to follow? If I quit and go to another dealership, how many of my salespeople will follow me and how many of my salespeople will say good riddance? If the majority will follow you, then you're already at that level of great leadership. We kind of talked about that in the last episode. But think about it. Maybe get a piece of paper out and write down my top qualities as a sales manager and my bottom qualities. And let's get your bottom qualities up to those top qualities to be the best. Now, it takes courage sometimes to do some of the stuff I'm talking about, UAing $5,000. Who's going to get mad if you UA $5,000 on a trade and the voucher is 10 pounds, 5 pounds, 6 pounds, or you take a negative to a positive, right? You take a negative 3-pounder into a positive 2-pounder. Your sales manager or your salesman, instead of making a mini, makes 3 pounds, makes some percentage or 2 pounds. Who's going to get mad? Nobody. Everybody wins in that scenario. And if you word it right with your customer, they're happy. They're signing. They're ready to go. Let's go. I'm good with that. I know it's less than that you got at your the other dealership, but where I can save you money is going to surpass. It's going to surpass the trade value. No one jumps for joy when they get a trade, right? Tell that to the customer and say, but where I'm going to save you money is on the financing, because the other dealership might give you more for your trade, but then they're going to mark up the rate 2.5 points and take it all back. Whereas this dealership doesn't do that. Now, whether you do that or not, it's up to you, right? It's all in the wording. But we got to get creative on those closes. And you got to practice. If you're not getting out there with your sales guys and getting your hands dirty, right? Getting in the mix on the front lines of the trenches with your sales guys, fighting the war, fighting the good battle with your sales guys, with the customers, then you can't get good. And I use this analogy in my sales meetings. A helicopter is either going to go up or hover or crash. There's no gliding. If you take your foot off the throttle, right? Does a helicopter glide? No. If you take your foot off the throttle, what does a helicopter do? It falls from the sky. So you either have to have your foot on that throttle to where you're staying still, or you're pushing on the throttle hard and you're going up. So if you're a sales manager that is not on the throttle, right? And you're not out there mixing it up with your sales guys, you're getting rusty and crusty. You're at your desk, you're not getting up, you're not mixing it up with your sales guys and your customers. Well, you're falling. You're getting worse, because if you're not practicing with the customers, practicing at home, then your skills are getting worse. You're a helicopter that's falling back to the ground. Now, if you're a sales manager that, once in a while gets up You can go talk with the customer, likes to say hi, mix it up a little bit. Then you might just be maintaining your skill. You're not going up, you're not going down. You're just kind of hovering like a helicopter would, right? Your foot's on the throttle just enough to hover. You're doing just enough to keep the numbers decent. Or you become that monster sales titan sales manager that has that pedal to the metal, and now your helicopter is soaring. You're at 30,000 feet or however high a helicopter can go before it starts malfunctioning, right? But you're always pushing the limits. You're getting out there. You're asking for the money. You're trying to get the most for the vehicle. You're trying to get the least for the trade. You're trying to make the most on the back end, right? You're doing all the things, mixing it up with your salesmen. They get to watch their leader lead, and you're keeping your foot to the floor so you don't get rusty and crusty, and you're pushing the limits for your dealership. And the sales managers that are doing that day in and day out are not only getting better, but they're separating themselves from the other sales managers there. And you're making your team more money, and you're becoming the best in the business. So you have to keep yourself sharp by getting out there and mixing it up. Other things to be the best in the business. How is your interpersonal skills with your salesmen? Your other coworkers, with finance? Do they like you? Remember, if you want to work at a dealership for 20 years, 30 years and retire, a millionaire, multimillionaire, you probably have to have people that like you around you, because the more they like you, the more they'll have your back when stuff arises. Customer heat, or someone says, "Oh, the manager cussed me out." That's impossible. Kyle doesn't cuss. Yeah, he does. No, he doesn't. Right? I don't cuss. So I had a salesman one time tell the GM that I cussed him out. And I'm like, oh, huh. And guess what my GM said? Nope, that's a lie. And it was a lie, because I don't cuss. So when you have people around you that like you, when you have this odd moment, or salesman that doesn't like his job, salesman that's not making money, a salesman that's not committing to his career, gets mad at you because you told him the truth that maybe hurt a little bit, and other people have your back, right? I'm sorry, not true. You got to have people around you that like you. So part of being the best of the best is having a crew that likes you, that talks good about you when you're not there, right? Now, nothing's perfect. You're always going to have one or two people at the dealership that you just don't click with. That's okay. That is okay. Doesn't mean you have to be their best friend, right? We're here to sell cars. We're here to have a career. We're not there to, be buddy with everybody, but you want to have the least amount of enemies at the dealership as possible, because you still want to be able to smile at work and not have to watch your back. And here's another thing that we need to talk about if you want to be the best of the best, is you have to keep your nose clean, right? No kinky deals, no lying to customers, no lying to coworkers, no gossiping, no bashing the dealership, no bashing the owner, right? Remember, you were looking for a job when you found that one, right? But you still needed a job. You were looking for a job and they gave you the chance. So you got to have some loyalty to your dealership. And you got to talk good about your dealership even when times get rough, because when your paychecks are big and fat, you're not complaining. We're only complaining when the money is down, it seems like. So we got to create that big paycheck by working hard, grinding, and keeping our nose clean. And we can't be liars at the desk. We can't be fibbers. You can't be doing sneaky stuff. We got to keep it clean, because if there's ever a scenario where your integrity is questioned, people around you will be like, sorry, that wasn't him. Nope. I've worked with this guy for 3 years. He would never say that to a customer. I've worked with this guy for 10 years. He would never do that. So make sure you're above board. And one of the things I was told when I started at this particular dealership I'm at the last 10 years is there's not a car deal worth lying, about. Not one car deal is worth your integrity. Yeah, sometimes the truth sucks. But if you lose a deal based on the truth, it's better than getting it on a lie. And when you lie to a customer about a Carfax, or you lie to a customer about, what's wrong with the used car you're selling them, what is going to happen? It always surfaces, and then you have a bigger problem. You have a heat case. And I can go back to like 2010. I had a customer that was, when I was a salesman, he came in wanting to buy this Toyota Tundra. He was hot to trot, came in, had a trade-in, we appraised it, we test drove it, loved the truck. And I knew it was two-wheel drive. He never asked. I never said. He came in, picked the car. Well, guess what happened like 3 days later? The biggest heat case of my life. He's in there yelling at me, yelling at the sales manager. And I'm like, sir, that was never part of our discussion. We live in Bakersfield, California. Do you know how many two-wheel drive trucks we sell? And I never have to say, now you do know this is two-wheel drive. I was trying to defend myself as best as possible because technically the guy never brought it up. But I learned in that scenario that, going over everything sometimes is better than not. Now, you don't have to bore your customer with facts, but if you have a guy and you guys live somewhere where there's snow and he's buying a two-wheel drive truck, you might want to bring it up as a sales manager. And you can do it nonchalantly. But this is more of just an example. Up here where I live, we get a ton of snow during winter. We get 6 months of snow. So it's almost like it's an unwritten policy that we just tell the customer, now you do know it's two-wheel drive, and we print out the Carfax and show them. And if they say, yeah, I knew that, perfect, let's move forward. But we like to catch that before we sign the customer, obviously. We try to bring it up as soon as we show the truck to the customer because we don't have problems. And that's good customer service. It's going above and beyond. And again, that one sale is not worth the headache, the bad Google reviews, the nightmare that comes after that, and the aftershock of that. So, being above board as a sales manager makes you the best. Hey, we're full transparency. This car has been stolen on the Carfax, or this car has a big old scratch on the back. Not that you want to, ruin the car deal, but it's kind of nice as a customer to be told this stuff before they take delivery. So, just being above board, being an honest car sales manager will make you the best. And then when integrity is ever questioned, nope, sorry, that's not him. That's not Kyle. That's not you. That's not anybody. That's not our dealership. We always are full disclosure, and we're always making sure we take care of the customer. It's good policy. So I'm trying to wrap this episode up, but as a sales manager, the key is, are you the best at every facet of the car deal? Are you the best at walkarounds? Can you even train your salespeople on a walk-around? Are you the best at product knowledge? No sales manager wants to learn product anymore. When you get your certification test, on the new car franchise, sometimes we pay a salesman to do it. We buy him lunch. How about we actually do the training so we're fluent with it? So when your salesman that's new has a customer that's asking tough questions and you need to get involved, the product. We need to be the best at walk-arounds. We need to be the best at product knowledge. We need to be the best at closing. We need to be the best at finance information. We need to be the best at trading information. We need to be the best at integrity. We need to be the best at interpersonal relationships. We need to be the best at building rapport with the customer, making a customer feel at home, making a customer relaxed, setting up the car deal for the most success. We need to be the best at being able to be creative enough to make some stinking gross once in a while and not give away a car. Just to make the car deal. Anybody can give away a car. That's called an order taker. We need to be a sale maker. We need to make money for the store, money for our own paychecks as sales managers, but we have to make money for our sales guys so that way we don't lose them. The most important part of being a successful dealership is to have successful, happy employees around us. And if we can keep our employees happy and successful, then your team can actually build a foundation and you have a team that you can work with for years. And when you have a team that never quits, then you have a team that's synchronized. And when you have a team that's synchronized, you start saying the same things. Your salespeople start mimicking your skills. And guess what? When you start building a team of salespeople that synchronize and have your skills, you're still the best, right? You're still Master Yoda. But now they can go fight those wars for you and go close those deals on busy days when you're working 5 deals at once and you can't go out there and do the UA. You can't go out there and close the deal. But guess what? Your sales team is a mimic of you. They are a mirror of you. And now you can trust them to go close that $2,000 UA. Go close that high payment with warranty and gap. Go close the rate markup. And now you have a team that knows how to make money because you have trained them because you are the best of the best. You are the best of the best. So think about this. Master Yoda didn't die from the sword of an enemy. He died warm in his bed with a cup of chili beans next to him. That's how I want to die. I don't want to die at war. I want to die next to my beans. Right? So if you heard this part, message me beans. I want to hear the word beans right now. It's one of my favorite foods is beans. Message me the word beans. Go to Instagram, follow me, Poor2Pro _car sales training. Follow me and message me beans if you made it this far. All right? I want to die warm in my bed with a can of beans and some coffee next to me. But we want to be the best at the store and not die by the sword. Is that a new quote? We want to be the best in the sword and not buy it. Hold on, let me say that again. We want to be the best in the store and not die by the sword. Oh my gosh, right? We don't want to get fired for not being a good car sales manager. We want to be inspiring to our guys, right? We want the sales team to look up to us like Luke Skywalker looked up to Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm such a nerd, I know, but let me be a nerd for a minute. The passion comes out of me because I know you as a sales manager, or if you're becoming a sales manager, I know you have it in you to be great. I know you have it in you to be the best in the store. And if you want to get paid like a professional and you want to make $200,000 to $300,000 a year as a sales manager, right? You have to live up to that paycheck. You can't be a mediocre car sales manager and expect an elite paycheck, right? Because elite sales managers are getting paid like elite sales managers. You got to be an elite sales manager to get paid like an elite sales manager. If that makes any sense. I love you guys. I love all my listeners and supporters. I'm so happy to be in season 10 talking about sales manager training. I feel like it's a necessary thing. When I became a sales manager, I got a little bit of training, but I was learning along the way. I wasn't foolish enough to not listen and not learn. So I'm glad I can do this for a lot of sales managers that won't get the proper training. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I look forward to those messages coming in. Kyle Galaz, signing out.